With the bottom plinths on your online bedroom fitted wardrobe, once again, we send them oversized in length. Generally, you won't have to scribe them to the floor because floors tend to be more level. We oversize them in length because you may have had to use a bit more infill for whatever reason, or you may have thicker skirting boards that you may have left in place like we have, and you want to cut around them. So I'm going to actually use a profile jig to get me the pattern of the skirting board, which looks like this, and you just press it squarely into the skirting board like this, and you take that and imprint it over the top of your skirting. In an ideal world, you want this plinth to be, at the worst case, flush with the top of this, ideally 2mm below that line to give you clearance on the doors. The reason that I scribed around the skirting board first is because I've got all this length to spare. If I did make a mistake, I could always try again and again, and I've still got lots of room to spare. So now that we've done that, I'm going to push it over the skirting on the other end and just mark to the inside edge of the end panel, and then take my square and mark the line for me to cut. Now that we've cut it to length and around the skirting, we can put it in place, and we're going to fix it into the wardrobe now. So if you look on the front of the wardrobe, we've got some 4mm holes pre-drilled at the factory, and we're going to reach inside here and use 30mm screws to screw that front plinth on. For the top plinth, we're going to cut it to length. We don't have a skirting to contend with this time, so we'll mark it the same as we did before. Just mark that inside edge, and then we'll trim that down. Now that we've cut our top plinth to length, we're going to offer it up, and we're going to use a bit of a bigger clamp, and we're going to clamp it onto the front of the wardrobes. Then we're going to measure from the inside down, and we want to make sure it's level across the whole plane. So that is 55mm, and this side is 55mm. So now that that's level, and I want that to be 2mm higher, I'm going to take a 57mm offcut so that I can trace my line across. Now that we've cut the top plinth to length and to the right height, scribed to the ceiling, we're going to fix it into place. So we're going to offer it up. We're looking for ideally a 2mm setback on there, which will give our doors that bit extra clearance that we'd like to see. And we're going to take our speed clamp and clamp it back onto the front, making sure that it's level and pressed up to the ceiling. And we're going to use the same holes that are in the bottom stretchers as we are on the top to fix it into place with the 30mm screws.